In today's lesson, we're going to enter formulas into this document. The first thing you're going to do is open up this document. Again, it's found in the M drive under Teacher Training. So go to Open, and then you can find it, Computer Apps, Ms. Johnson, Teacher Training Documents, and it's the one called Grade Tracking Teaching Formulas. First, we're going to enter in the percent earned. We're going to skip the percent of total. We'll do that in another lesson when we talk about absolute and relative references. So click on cell E2. If you're wanting to figure out what your percent is that you earned, you would want to take the number of points you earned divided by the points possible. So that formula would look like this. You're going to put an equal sign in, which is what you're always going to do when you have a formula that is not an auto formula. And then we're going to click on cell B2. The reason we're not going to type in the number 10 is we want to be able to copy this formula down to all the other cells. And if we do B2, when we drag that formula down to the next row, it'll then be B3 will appear in this. We're then going to put the divide by sign. So you just have a slash, which is right next to your shift key on the right hand side, and then the points possible, so that's C2. So your formula looks like this, equals B2 divided by C2. Press enter. It appears as 1. We want to format that as a percent, and let's do it right now before we copy it down. So click back on that cell just once, so you have the dark border around it, and click on the percentage style. And now, on the bottom right hand corner, when you get that black cross, click and drag all the way down, and now you can see your percentages. We're also going to do an auto sum. We're going to do this in cell B22. Auto sum is adding up all of these. You could type in equals B2 plus B3 plus B4, but that takes a long time. So instead, we're going to go up here to this auto sum button, and we're going to click on sum because that is what we're wanting to add in. We want it to be this range of B2 to B20. And now it's going to be 21. So I'm going to click on the bottom right hand corner, and I get a diagonal arrow. I'm going to drag it up so it highlights just that range. The key when you have this formula is to press enter when you're done with it. Don't click anywhere else, or it'll start adding those cells into your formula. So I press enter, and then I'm going to go back, click on that cell, so you're on B22, and then I'm in the bottom right hand corner going to drag that total over. So then I have the total points possible. And I could do the same thing to calculate total points earned divided by total points possible. So I could continue. If I go back to cell E20, I can drag that formula down, and notice I have a blank line that had no numbers in it, so that's why it comes up with this message. So I can just click there on that cell E21, press delete. Now we're going to get some practice of putting in formulas for min, max, average, and count. So I'm going to click in cell H5, and we want to figure out the minimum percentage they earned from this range. So click in this auto sum options, and actually min is one of our first options. So we'll click there. It thinks we want to do this range. That's not what we want. While you have the little dancing ants going around this range, you can actually just click on a cell and don't let go of your mouse and drag down. So we're selecting E2 through E20. So it should say equals min, then parentheses E2 to E20, and then press enter. Do the same thing for the max. So you click in cell H6, find the max option, and again, you're going to click and drag and enter. Same thing for average. Click in E2, drag down to E20, enter. And we'll do the same thing for count. We're just going to count the number of numbers that are there. This is going to tell us how many assignments we had. So again, we're using this range, and we're going to press enter. The last thing we'll do in this lesson is calculate the points that this student lost. We're just going to put it right here in cell B27, and we're essentially going to want to take 206, which is the points possible, minus the points they earned. But we don't want to type those numbers in. Instead, we're going to use the cell. So if we ever use this same sheet for another student, it'll just calculate automatically. So I'm going to type the equal sign, click in cell C22, minus B22. So my formula looks like this, equals C22 minus B22, and then press enter. There's a couple more things that this sheet needs, but they are going to be in different lessons. So again, the absolute and relative references will be a different lesson, and then if statements will be a different lesson. So that someone can see what your formulas are, you can display those. The way you do that is you're going to press the control key and the tilde symbol. That's the little squiggle that's right next to the 1 on your keyboard. So you hold the control key and press that little squiggle. And when I do that, it shows the formulas that I have used to get those answers. To go back to your original numbers, do the same thing. Do control and then that tilde. This document you're going to want to save because you will be adding the absolute references and the if statements.